Well, a very special namaskar and salam dosto. You are now watching West Indian Today with yours truly, your host and host, Imran Ahmad. I want to say thank you, friends, for tuning in to today's program. As always, it's a delight, it's an honor and a privilege coming into your homes, into your television sets, and also coming into your day, into your lives as well. Thank you, friends, for giving us the opportunity to be a part of your weekend entertainment for the last 3.5 years, very soon to be 4 years. Before we go any forward with today's program, we take a quick moment to say a very special thank you to our predecessor, Dr. Dan Paul Narayan, and the entire team of Jyoti Satsang, also to Pandit Chunilal Narayan as well, for doing a marvelous and a spectacular job each and every week from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. propagating and promoting authentic Hindu culture. Well, friends, we are now, as we're just winding down to the end of the year, we're reflecting upon some great moments that we've been privileged to have been able to present you or be in conversation with intellectual individuals concerning events that we were looking for your support. One in particular was the Miss Bollywood USA pageant that was presented to you by Anushka and company, and it was a very special night, a night that I will never forget for the rest of my life. Actually, I was given a special role there. But talking about that very special night, there were a handful of young, talented individuals who put their talent on display, and one lady walked away with the prestigious crown as Miss Bollywood USA. Joining with me in conversation is the very wonderful lady who actually has a wonderful crown adoring on her head, and that is Miss Bollywood, Miss Britina Toolsie. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
We are going to talk about your journey, entering the pageant and winning the crown. But before we get into that, first tell our viewers about yourself. How old you are, and what got you interested in pageantry, and what are some of your hobbies? What are you studying and stuff like that?
Okay, well, I'm 16 years old. Both my parents moved here from Guyana when they were younger. So when I moved to New York, I really got into West Indian culture because previously I lived in Las Vegas. So there's not a big West Indian community. There's actually no West Indian community at all. So I really wanted to get into just performing, and that's when I met Anushka when I entered the Miss Indo-Caribbean Federation pageant, and I ended up getting second runner-up in that. And that just inspired me to continue on doing pageantry and performing, because it felt like a rush, and it felt really amazing to just see all of these people and know that I'm making my family proud. Yeah, and I'm currently in school. I go to Floral Park Memorial High School, and I'm a senior this year, so I'm graduating, and I will be entering college next year.
Very nice. So, okay, 16 is normally the year for, you said you're 16, right?
Oh, I just turned 17 last week, actually. Yes.
Well, still, actually, that is the year for, your standard 17-year-old. They'll be actually in their junior year of high school. So you skipped a year then?
No, I actually, I think I started school early. I started school in New York, okay. Then we moved to Florida for a year, and then we moved to Vegas, and now we moved back. So I am actually one of the youngest people in my grade. Most of the other people are 18 years old, but I'll be 18 when I'm in college. Oh,
very nice, actually. So one of the youngest actually in your grade, and who knows, one of the youngest to achieve lots of great things. Who knows what's in your future now? What are do you actually have something in mind that you would like to pursue once you go to college? Actually, after college, is there any career goal or any career path that you're actually planning on pursuing?
Well, I actually want to become a physician assistant or anywhere in healthcare, really, just because that's something that I've always had a passion for, right. And it's something that I've always found interesting, just learning about the human body and being able to help people in any way that I can. So I really want to go to school for that. It's about 6 years of school, right. And I'll be able to work in any field that I want. I can work in a trauma unit, or I can work in just family care, and that's what I love about it.
Wonderful. Well, we wish you all the very best.
Now
we're going to talk about your pageant career. So here's the thing. Actually, over the year and over the past few years, I find myself in this awkward position interviewing, women of your caliber, because I have no idea about pageantry. I've never competed or anything like that. But I find myself interviewing and, learning more and more about pageantry. Now, as you mentioned that I believe one of your introduction to pageantry occurred at the Indo-Caribbean Federation's, their beauty pageant. You were actually second runner-up. Mm-hmm. But now let's get into it. What is entering into pageantry? How does it change? When someone enters into something and they basically go down this field, it changes their mindset, or actually their, the mental psyche. So how does pageantry change an individual?
I feel that pageantry isn't just about the beauty aspect of things, it's also about your confidence, what you believe in yourself, and the message that you want to portray to other people. So when I first entered the Miss Indo-Caribbean Federation, I didn't know anything about performing, anything about pageantry, and that was my first experience being in a pageant and seeing what it's like. And it wasn't a very big pageant. There wasn't, 50 girls. There was a small number. And I think that's what made me feel most comfortable, just knowing that I got to experience it with a small group of people first before entering something that was really big. And that showed me that I have more self-confidence than I thought I would have, and that also showed me that if I put myself in front of other people, that's a platform for me to show who I am and a platform for me to get my message across and what I believe, and that it's not just about beauty, but it's about your intellect.
Entering this pageant after your your run with the Indo-Caribbean Federation, so what got you interested? I mean, as you said, it was preparing you for something bigger, but what about this pageant appealed to you?
I feel that this pageant, I first entered it because I knew Anushka, and she really inspired me to continue doing pageantry. She said it would be a really great experience for me, and I feel that the Miss Indo-Caribbean Federation, being in that pageant, I learned a lot from it, and I was really inspired to be in this one because I love the Bollywood aspect of it, being able to choose any song that I want and performing it, and I just like that there were different elements. Like there was an Indian wear portion of the pageant, but there was also an evening gown, so it showed both ends of the spectrum and how girls portray themselves.
Definitely covering young women in every aspect and, of course, every spectrum, as she, so eloquently puts it. But now, as and as I mentioned too, that, it's been a great journey, for yourself, first starting off winning, second runner-up, and now having this prestigious title. Describe the process, actually, from the very beginning when you were introduced to all the other likely, winners, actually the candidates who were up for the crown as well. How has been the experience? What is something that pageantry and this pageant has taught you that, other pageants or the other pageant you didn't know before?
Well, with this pageant, a lot of my very good friends were in it. So every Sunday we would come around, we would practice, kind of prepare for the pageant, whether it be, teaching our dances to each other or helping each other out. And that really showed me that although friends can be in the same pageant, that doesn't mean that it's always a competition or that you can actually gain a lot of friendships although you're competing against each other. So that really taught me a lot about who I surround myself with, and that we just helped each other out throughout the whole process, and that's something that I really gained from this pageant, is a lot of good memories and friends that I still have even though I won.
We take you actually down memory lane, actually, so you get to see all the elegance of the night. We will come right back and we'll continue our brief discussion with Miss Bollywood, Britina Toolsie. Stay tuned. You're watching West Indian Today with yours truly, your host and host.
back into your past and change one thing about yourself, what would it be and why? If you could go back into your past and change one thing about yourself, what would it be and why?
Well, for me, I actually wouldn't go back and change anything. I feel like in life, you go through so many experiences, whether it's happiness or heartbreak. You meet so many people, and later on, they have an impact in your life. And you yourself, going through everything you go through, will have an impact in your own life. So I really wouldn't change anything, because the more I go through and the more I experience, that's just how I grow up.
Congratulations, Nikita. Okay, Miss Bollywood America 2017, first runner-up. Wonder who it could be. Nikita. Okay. Miss Bollywood America 2017, first runner-up is Ashley. Congratulations, Ashley. Alright, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Miss Bollywood America 2017 is no other than Britina, Toolsie.
Say
Welcome back once again, and if you're just tuning in to us, a very special welcome to West Indian today, and we want to say thank you, friends, for tuning in to us every Saturday from 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. as we present to you the very best of the Caribbean diaspora here in North America, ITV Gold, the first and the longest running South Asian channel serving both the South Asian and the Indo-Caribbean diaspora here in North America. Remember, friends, whenever you want to get in touch with me, or if ever you wish to opine, imran@itvgold.com, imran@itvgold.com. Do be sure to name a town, name a place, and also give us your suggestions about the various topics, whether it is today's program or the previous programs. If ever you wish to opine about our three-dimensional political discussions, do be sure to send us an email with your thoughts and suggestions, but not focusing on that today. We are in conversation. We're having such a great time as we are in the holiday season, and of course, we're enjoying the great company of wonderful individuals such as our guest today, who is the newly crowned Queen, Miss Bollywood USA, and she received that crown on behalf of Anushka Prabhudayal and Anushka's company of entertainment. Joining with me in conversation once again is Miss Bollywood USA, Miss Britina Toolsie. I want to say welcome again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we took a moment to introduce you to our viewers, and for them, you are now our queen. Actually, you are going to be representing us, and there are a lot of great responsibilities actually with wearing this crown, which we will focus upon. And also, we gave them just a brief recap of the night, and for them, it was actually such a special moment. They felt as if they were there. But now, talking about the responsibilities of the crown. Now, for you, actually, when you entered into this pageant, what is one of the first lessons that were, basically given to yourself and to all the girls actually concerning the competition, and also receiving the crown? What are the responsibilities of being the queen, Miss Bollywood USA?
Well, one of the first things that I was taught before we even learned our dances, before we learned how to pageant walk, is that you have to bring part of your own personality into this pageant. So between all of us girls, like I mentioned before, it's not just about the beauty, but it's about your personality. So one thing that Anushka taught us is that should always be what shines through, and that should be the reason why you walk so confidently on stage or present yourself in front of others, is because you want to show who you are inside. And then after I had won the pageant, some of my responsibilities are just carrying myself well-manneredly, and also being able to go around the community, spreading awareness to different, events, showing my face at different events, and being that person that people can look up to, be a role model for other girls, and also spread positive messages about not only pageantry, but other things that I believe in.
We're in the era of actually, many people will hashtag it as girl power, yes. But I actually feel that it's actually the era of women empowerment. And of course, as you mentioned, that with this, it's about identifying not only, the aspects of pageantry, but social issues that matter to you and also matter to the community. Talking about empowering people, what are some of the things that you would like to, or what are some of the things you would like to achieve with this, having the crown on your head, and what are some issues you feel that is very close to you?
Some issues that are important to me are, like I mentioned before, self-confidence. I do agree that this is the age of just empowerment for not only women, but for everybody. Right. And I really want to empower, especially those little girls that are growing up and watching these shows or coming to these events and have big dreams. Before, when I was younger, I never imagined myself actually winning a pageant or performing on stage. But that was something that I always dreamed about doing, and I just never thought that it would happen. So I really want to show people that if you have a dream and you push for it and you work hard for it, it will come true. And also, I've done a lot of volunteer work for breast cancer awareness, St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So I would like to continue doing that, although school has really got in the way of certain events and certain things. I really want to start getting out there and volunteering, and especially for health organizations, which is what I want to become in the future. So I want to start doing all of that.
You know, I have to say salute you and I commend you for being active actually with breast cancer awareness and also helping out with St. Jude. I mean, there is also another talented young lady who also wears a crown just like you, and hopefully one of these days the two of you can collaborate and do something for St. Jude's. But one of the things actually so wonderfully you spoke about confidence, and you know, I mean, one of the things you also touch upon is something I say every week, that if you work hard, maintain tenacity, maintain perseverance, you can make it. You can make it, and she's a clear example of that. And we are coming down to the end of the discussion, but now here's a very important question. I feel that I want you to connect with young women. As mentioned, that the wife of Billy Joel, she was actually the first one with a blemish on her face at the time. In the 1980s, you had to be spotless when you entered into pageantry. Her saying was that the eyes given by God are not only given to recognize the outer beauty, but recognize the inner beauty within an individual. And so hence, I'll enter this pageant hoping that the judges will recognize my inner beauty. Now, that was actually what won her pageant, her title in 1988. Now, we're looking, lots of people have this great inner beauty, but they're very afraid, you know, to expose it. What is something you would say to them to let the world know how beautiful they are? Some encouragement.
Well, in the Miss Indo-Caribbean Federation, I was asked a question, and I was asked, would you choose beauty or personality? And my answer was that personality is something that'll always shine through, and that if you're in a room full of people, I would want not the person with the prettiest face or the nicest hair or the nicest skin. I would want somebody that makes me laugh, somebody that's kind-hearted and that I know I can trust. So that is what comes from the inside. And I believe that if you are yourself, that's the only thing that matters. It does not matter how you look.
Definitely. That's wonderfully put. I don't think I can say anything that can top that. Britina, I have to say it was indeed such a very wonderful conversation. I had a wonderful time being in conversation with you. Final word, if there's anything you want to say to our viewers, actually, so that they can get more familiar with you or something that they could expect from you from the future. Anything you would like to say or anything you want to add, you can do so.
Well, I will be around in the community, and I just want to thank everyone that came out to these shows, come out to the events, come out to support me. And I really appreciate everyone that has done a lot in this community and even in general. So I'd like to thank you all.
Thank you so much, and thank you to everyone for tuning in to today's show. My time with you is officially over. I've enjoyed being in your company. I truly do hope you've enjoyed mine as well. Until next week, this is yours truly saying have a great week ahead. It is with heavy heart that we announce the death of Ramesh D. Kalicharan, who was no stranger to the Indo-Caribbean community as well as the South Asian community. He was the director of Kali Travel and Tours, which was one of the first to take trips to India during the season of Holi and Deepavali, was indeed a pioneer who laid the foundation for many to follow after him. In addition to that, Uncle Kali was heavily involved in religion, having started one of the first Hindu temples in New York known as Gyan Bhakti Mandir, and was responsible for bringing forth the Pagwa Parade as well as being responsible for bringing forth the Diwali motorcade. Kaliji was also the sponsor of several young talents who entered in various fields of entertainment both on a local and national platform. It is at this time that we bid farewell to a pioneer and a legend whose legacy will remain immortal. He was one of the first who introduced West Indian programming to ITV Gold by introducing Mr. Ishri Singh to the late Dr. Banad Vishwanath. We take this opportunity to extend our deepest sympathy and condolences to his wife Judith, his children Jagdesh, Nadesh and Romani, as well as his grandchildren. We pray that may his journey from this material world back to the Supreme Almighty be a splendid one, and may he be rewarded with salvation for all his great service towards society.